The O'Reilly Factor, the #1 cable news show for 14 years running.
Thanks for staying with us. And Bill O'Reilly in a Weekdays with Bernie segment tonight, foreign news. Americans really don't consume a lot of it. This week there are two huge stories. President of Ukraine has been overthrown because that country is destitute and under the heel of Russia. Folks rose up, the puppet president resigned, and a new regime has taken over there. Putin, however, may intervene, so this is a big story. In Venezuela, there's chaos all over the place because the socialistic government there cannot control crime or the economy. No surprise. That's what happens in most socialistic countries. So far, at least 13 people have been killed in the Venezuelan riots. Joining us now from Miami, the purveyor of BernardGoldberg.com, Mr. Goldberg. So, I'm taking a risk, a ratings risk.
Yeah, I know
Even
you are.
doing this story with you. First of all, they don't like you. Audience doesn't like you. And then I'm given topic like, what do we care in Ukraine? What do we care about that? How do you answer?
Well, first of all, if my email is any indication, they hate me and you equally, okay?
Well, that's not good for ratings.
That's another subject altogether. No, I think we ask ourselves a key question when we watch a news story, and that is, how does it affect me? We know how Obamacare affects us. We know how taxes affect us. We don't really know how Ukraine affects us. And we'll watch the video because we like shiny objects. So as long as there's fire in the shot or people getting their heads beaten in, we'll watch it, but we don't really care about the details. That's number one. I have three reasons. Reason number two, complex foreign stories don't really lend themselves to the fun debate format that cable television news has made so popular. So a confrontation between a liberal professor from Yale and a conservative from a think tank in Washington isn't exactly Bill O'Reilly versus Barney Frank. It just doesn't cut it. And the third reason is the most important because it encompasses all of the reasons, and that is foreign news, by and large, just isn't entertaining enough for us. And it's really as simple as that. We like easy-to-follow storylines, and complex stories from Eastern Europe or Asia or South America, they don't amuse us the way we like to be amused.
No, unless American troops are involved or there's a villain.
No,
so you can sell it.
I even disagree with that. Afghanistan, American troops are involved, and they're getting, unfortunately, they're getting wounded and killed. And we don't even care about that because it's gone on so long.
Well, that's because it's 10 years old, though. In the beginning of the Iraq War and the Afghan War, there was a lot of coverage. But once it gets to be 10, 12 years old, it's the same story.
That's right. That's right. It's not. It doesn't amuse us or entertain us, rather.
Now, I think you were at CBS News when television was invented, I believe. All right, you were there.
That's not necessary.
It was you, Arthur Godfrey.
That is not necessary.
A few Muppets. Anyway, you can then bring. Did it used to be when Cronkite was there and all of this business, Murrow? Was there more of an appetite among the American public back in the 50s and 60s than now?
Yes, and I'll give you two reasons, I think. One is, despite the fact that we live in an information age, I mean, there's far more outlets for news today than there was when I worked for Walter Cronkite. In a lot of ways, we're shallower than we used to be. We're more interested in being sociable through social media, for instance, than we are with being, knowledgeable. So I think a lot of Americans now don't know very much about America and don't care as much as we used to. So if we don't care about America, we sure aren't going to care about
I have a theory.
Ukraine.
I have a theory about that. When my father went to World War II as a naval officer in the Pacific, my whole family was galvanized around what was happening in this country. We had to defeat Japan. We had to defeat Germany. So there was this tremendous emotion invested, people putting their lives on the line, our military forces. Everybody was involved, people back home, people over there. Once the war ended, that emotion didn't end. so that the people took more of an interest in their country and what was happening overseas and here and there, because that was inculcated in them by World War II. And that's why they call it the greatest generation. The sacrifices were tremendous. But once you get away from that mass event, the further away you go and you become safe and secure, and in 2001, that attack, that jolted us out of there a little bit. But now we're back there.
Right.
That's my theory on it.
No, I think that's a good theory. Add to that over the years, news organizations, the ones that we work for instance, at the broadcast networks, have closed down a lot of bureaus overseas. So this is a chicken and egg argument. Do we have less interest in foreign news today because the networks are covering less foreign news, or are they covering less foreign news because they know we have less interest in foreign news?
It's the latter, and they take, as you know, surveys, and they take all kinds of things. It's the latter. But they used to not care. See, when I covered the El Salvador War, nobody really cared what was happening down there, but they covered it anyway.
Right.
And now they don't do it
right.
because they want to make more money. All right, Bernie Goldberg, everybody, there he is.